It's already connected.
Ah,
And we're live. Look at that.
fantastic.
That was quick. I like that.
Magical.
Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 412, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and sometimes some tech news. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tom.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. This show is brought to you by Meter. More on them later in the episode. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, tech, pop culture, games, Homelab, servers, and everything in between. It's a fun show. Grab a beverage. Come along for the ride. All super chats are right in the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize my channel. I do like to make money every once in a while. We do drink alcohol in the show. If you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat and we'll give some early show shout outs as we go along. And last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where you can chat with myself, Tom, Cheese, Rhett, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
If you tag me, I will appear.
Yes.
I am not good at Discord, but I will reply to tagged.
Yeah, I'm in there like all day. Like Discord's constantly up on my monitor. Even my wife, she doesn't even text me anymore. She just pings me on Discord. Yeah, Tom, you have to Beetlejuice.
Yeah. I always have a trouble. I'm really good with asymmetric communication. Like people are shocked that I reply to all of my emails. I reply to all of my forum posts and many other forums I'm in, but it's asymmetric. So it's fine. But when the like real-time chat at a hard time.
I'm the other way around. I'm terrible with email.
Most people are more like Jeff.
Yeah. Yep. I am not winning any prizes for responding quickly to emails. Oh, what's funny is I almost brought my bottle. I have the Angel's Envy bourbon upstairs. I almost brought my bottle downstairs today.
Yeah, for Thanksgiving I got to sample. My friend has such a collection of whiskeys, like just rows and rows. He collected, I think, was it the Four Roses collections? He has all of them, like just shelf after shelf after. I'm like, I've never seen so many. At first I was like, why do you have so many? He's like, they're all different. I collected all of them. I was like, oh.
So I'm doing Thanksgiving with your family next year, it sounds like that.
It's one of my friends, and he would love to have you over because he just likes inviting everyone over. He's a proper nerd. We play nerd games and everything else. And
nerd whiskey, say less.
Yes. Yeah, he made it. It was definitely interesting. It's funny. I've known him for a little while because he works for a company called Ninja One, and I met him, I don't know, 4 years ago. But we just chatted, and out of the most random things, he says, we were talking. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? I said, I don't know. I said, everyone goes somewhere else. He goes, why don't you come to my house? And he lives in Chicago, and I'm like, sure. So I messaged my wife, and then we ended up going there, and we had a lot of fun.
So I am cracking open a seasonal release from Fort George, from up here in Astoria, Oregon, home of the Goonies. This is their Magnanimous IPA. For all the people who say IPAs taste like Christmas trees, no, this tastes like a Christmas tree. This is a Douglas fir in canned form.
Well, now I want that.
Yeah, if you are a fan of like that piney,
I am
juniper,
a fan of Christmas trees.
Yeah, if you are a fan of that kind of scent, that's what this is.
I almost, to be funny, had a White Claw. I seen it in the fridge. Someone had left. I'm like, ooh, I should bring that. I won't drink it, but I'll hold it up and like, ooh.
I've had White Claw on the channel before. John and I did a couple of White Claws one day. They did like a new flavor release. That was when like I think the black cherry came out. And I'm like, all right, I'll try the black cherry White Claw.
Yeah,
and
I tried it. It's okay.
It's okay. I'll drink it at a barbecue. Like yeah,
it'll wash the barbecue down.
Yeah. Rhett and I have done red beer before. We did salted rim glasses with, was it Dos Equis or was it was some just mass-produced Mexican lager and Clamato juice, and you make a red beer. It's one of Rhett's favorites. I think it was his birthday. And so I was like, hey, Rhett, what do you want to drink? And he goes, I want some red beer. So he brought over red beer. And
I've tried it. It's not my thing.
yeah. I'll drink one. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I could taste one. My wife would get something like that and I would taste it. I mean, I can do a Bloody Mary. It's all right. But
yeah.
As long as it's got bacon in it.
Yeah, I like Bloody Marys. I like Bloody Marys with like a mozzarella stick and an onion ring hanging off the top of it.
Yeah, I like just put some crap on it and it's more enjoyable. It's like an adventure.
Exactly.
So I smiled. I switched over to Image. Moved all my photos. I was using Synology photos for a while, and there's no way to import all your albums, so I have to start recreating them. And I'm like, oh, the whole album I got to create made me just brought a smile to my face of me and you and at that bar when I was organizing the 45 Drives trip, the Creator Summit. I'm like, oh yeah, that was some good drinks we had.
Daryl sends over a super chat, $2. Thank you so much. Just home from eye injections. Ooh. Time for a Talking Heads. Sounds like it's time for a beer as well. I don't have too many like physical sensitivities. Don't touch my eyes.
Yeah.
I hate anything and everything near my eyes. And of course I also have a corneal tear on the back of my left eye, and so once a year I have to go in and get full imaging done of my eye to make sure it's not expanding, to make sure I don't eventually go blind in my left eye. God, I hate that machine. It's the one that reaches out and it tests the pressure on the front of your eye, and so you have to physically hold your eye open and let it balance on the top of your retinas.
Yes.
And and then the puff of air, and then the bright lights. And I despise that machine.
Because it took me a long time to get glasses. I just realized they just don't sell laptops with big enough monitors, so that was how it ended up getting glasses.
Why is resolution getting smaller?
Yeah, I'm like everything zoomed in, and a lot of times I'm out and I don't wear them. I only really need to see things close. I can see everything far away, but yeah, I don't love going to the eye doctor. I don't like getting it adjusted. So yes.
I've worn glasses since I was 12. My specific issue with vision can't be corrected with LASIK, and because I hate touching my eye so much, I can't do contacts. The pressure of contacts is just an absolute no-go. Tried, cannot get used to it. I wear glasses. It is what it is.
Yeah, they don't bother me. Yeah. I mean, I learned the impossible task of keeping them clean. So yeah, I regret all the childhood shenanigans I had of doing that to people.
Oh, that I got you punched in my circle.
Now I understand why they're so angry at me.
Yeah.
That was not nice of me. I seen someone said they're thinking about switching to Image. I highly recommend it. I really enjoy Image. I imported 55,000 photos, but I made sure when I did my Image video to explain why please don't get hung up in these deep Reddit discussions of, do I need a video card for Image? It took a couple hours to do the full rendering on 55,000 images, to do all the AI processing and add all the context to it, so I can search for cat or anything else and find it. And also it's building a database of weighted words and what those weights are in each one to determine it. I'm trying to reverse engineer it because I think it'd be cool if it could tell me in the photo what it thinks it sees. I have a friend who does some coding, and I've been asking him to look into that. He's digging in to see if there's a way to reverse engineer some of it.
Do like the reverse inference, right?
Yeah. But overall, once it's processed, it took like 3 or 4 hours or so, maybe a little less than that, to process them. Like, I can't even imagine if it imported 55,000 photos and added all that in 3 hours. Anytime I add even 20 photos, it's like, I don't know, 30 seconds and it's done. Why are people so hung up on, I need a like 3090 for my image setup? I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Do you process 100,000 a day? I mean, just
Let's see. Taylor sends over a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Did you combine all your drives into one pool on the new NAS from today's video? So yeah, I don't know if you saw, I rebuilt my NAS. Put 24 drives into an old Supermicro 846 chassis. Combined my two 45 drive units into like one Super NAS. Because I was running out of rack space. I only have one rack in my house, and I'm using 40 out of 42U. No room for anything else. And so I was like, all right, time to start consolidating down. And so I took my 24 drives that were in various different places. I had 8 of them in the HL8, I had 8 of them in the HL15, and I had 8 of them in the Craftinator, the AV15. And put them all into one server. It's all up and running. It's great. No, I did not combine them because most of them already had data on them. And so I'm just going to reuse the pools as they are. And they were all mismatched anyway. I had 8 8s, 8 12s, and 8 20s.
Yeah, so you may as well leave them all separate pools.
Just leave them. Right, exactly. Eventually, I will probably buy all new storage. We'll consolidate down. We'll turn my 320 terabytes worth of raw out of 24 drives into like 12 drives, you know, maybe even 8 drives if I get 30s. But yeah.
People have sent me a ridiculous amount of storage because I'm testing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out what to put on it. We're starting to finally find things to fill it up, but I think right now I have 700 terabytes of storage and I'm not even using all of it because I'm just testing a bunch of NAS stuff for people. Some of it's under, non-disclosure until it's released, but it's also like, I'm like, what do I put on all of this? So
right.
I have the dumbest first world problems, so yeah, y'all can feel bad for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have about 320 terabytes of raw storage in the rack right now. It's about 190 terabytes after raids and duplication and all that kind of stuff. And it's about 45% full. I'm using about 90 terabytes of it.
Yeah, I didn't shoot in RAW for a long time, so all my old videos are not in RAW. Therefore, they're not like I have an archive of all of them, but they're not that big. So.
Yeah, I don't shoot in RAW. I don't see a point. I do shoot in ProRes, so I do have some expanded, color palette and larger bit rate, but it's just going to be crunched down to 40 megabit anyway at 4K on YouTube. So it's like, who am I doing this for?
Yeah, and I think you did talk about this before. You're like me. You have like your narrative tracks versus your B-roll stuff, and the B-roll you keep, but the narrative you can really just throw away. As I'm like, what am I going to use? Once I cut it out, I don't need it again. Like
exactly.
All the dead time or the 10 times I said that thing wrong.
There's a lot of swearing at myself.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
All you guys see is actually. I don't even have to hide my sins with B-roll anymore. The new smooth cut feature in DaVinci Resolve is amazing. I've used it more and more, and I'm like, wow, I'm just eliminating jump cuts now because it does the generative fill. So if I pause when I got to say something, or times when I've said things like 2 or 3 times where is best to my memory, bring myself back to what I think I was like posed as when I said that, and I'll just do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Do the same thing again. And I'm like, I'll just throw in what they call a smooth cut, the generative fill. I can't tell where the cuts are.
I've never tried that. I think I might. We'll see what it does.
I was so skeptical that it would work at all. And I did it a couple times like, I'm scared at how well it works now.
Yeah.
Do we got to do an ad read or we jump in a couple news?
We can jump into a couple news, usually 30 minutes on the ad read. So
okay.
We're good there. And hey, there's a Wild Dakota in the chat.
Ooh, yeah.
Little bearded IT guy. Hello. Hello, good sir.
I'll store some of those drives for you. Yeah, I thought about offering, figuring out a way to offer some storage to people. Like, hey, want some offsite backup here in Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
You want geographically disparate? Why not? Just make sure it's encrypted. I don't want to know what's there. And just, I don't want to know what it is, but I'll store it for you. Please encrypt at source. And Dakota, just so you know, we got a lot of snow here in Detroit. This has been a snow. So he came and it was like the most unseasonably warm spring. He got to see no snow at all. And I'm like, you shouldn't get this warm out where you don't even need a jacket. It's supposed to be snowing, but it's not.
Yeah.
Now it's like you need a jacket. It's going down to like, I don't know, 11 degrees, windy, and we've had snow a lot. Like it's snow.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of accumulation, but it's getting there. So if you want to come back to town, feel free.
Yeah, you guys have been going through kind of a cold snap lately. Here, we've had a flood advisory that lasted all week. We got 5 inches of rain yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm really glad it didn't fall as snow. Because...
yeah, we're going to be 8 degrees this weekend. Woohoo! Nice. Plus some wind.
All right. Yeah, we can get to some news. Do we want to do the...
Start with the crappiest news first?
Let's start with the crappiest news first. I like that. Yeah, let me pull that one up here. There we go. Because I think we'll spend more time on the item I put first. So we'll do the crappy news first, which
just because it's funny.
Just because it's funny. Yeah,
just because it's funny.
We'll start out with this. And I'll just read the headline straight off the article. This is from Vice.com. Turns out putting cameras on a smart toilet was a bad idea.
I didn't know it was an idea at all.
Yeah. I saw this story come up sometime in the last week, and we didn't get to it last week. And Tom, we were pinging each other today with ideas, and he's like, "Hey, did you see this one?" Yes, we're talking about that. So Kohler, the company that makes, all your bathroom and kitchen faucets and accoutrement, started selling earlier this year a $600 smart toilet adapter accessory thing. What it is meant to do is it's this little dongle that you can kind of see it sitting on the rim of the toilet right there. It's a little U-shaped dongle that goes on to the side of your toilet. And it records and catalogs your deposits in full HD. Now look. There are probably medical benefits and use cases for such a technology. I'm not disparaging the idea of that kind of documentation. I know there's issues that people deal with.
I see. I'm glad someone brought up in the comments, because you have to remember those old, in the earlier days of the internet, everything was a rating site, and it was the Rate My Poo site.
Yes, yeah.
It brought back memories of that. I'm like, oh, this would be like, are we revising it? Are we bringing that back?
I
know there's really probably medical reasons for this. I agree with you, but this is something I have a hard time taking serious.
I have a hilarious anecdote about the Rate My Poo site. So
you had a top post?
No, I did not have a top post. I have a funny story about one. So, I brought one of my friends down. We were going to go watch a football game, and drove him down 2 hours from his place, and we stopped to get a bite to eat, and then get on the shuttle to go over to the stadium. And we stopped at one of the local malls, and he goes, "Hey, while we're getting food, where's the bathroom at?" So I pointed him towards the bathroom. Well, he ends up going down the wrong hallway. There was one hallway that went to the left. That was all the bathrooms. Well, he went down to the hallway to the right. And I'm like, he'll find it. Well, down the hallway to the right was mall services and security and a couple other things. That was also where the handicapped bathrooms, the handy accessible bathrooms were at. And so he's like, "Oh, I found the bathroom." So he just went in, had to go. He only had to go number one, and that's important to the story. So he walks into this bathroom, he does his business, he's walking to go wash his hands, and he sees one of those 1/3 scale toilets for training kids and little people and things like that. That website popped into his head, the Rate My Poo. And he goes, You know, I didn't have to go, but I think I could squeeze one out just for the hilarity of dropping a deuce in a 1/3 size toilet. And so he does. So, and this is back in like the flip phone days. So he's gets one out. He stands up to take a picture of it, and it had an auto flusher on it, and it sucked it before he could get a picture. And so he goes, "No!" and just like yells because he's upset. Washes his hands, goes to leave the bathroom. There's a guy in a wheelchair waiting to use the bathroom outside who just heard him yell at the top of his lungs that he couldn't take a picture of his poo. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone says AI could tie to the Kohler poop monitor and suggest better health or better eating habits.
Anyway, back to the smart toilet here. It turns out that putting a camera in your toilet is probably not the best of ideas, even though Kohler claimed that it was end-to-end encrypted and the images could never be found. And turns out, no, that was not true at all. Turns out it was basically an open web host sitting on the local device that you could pull up any image that you wanted in full detail.
Only flushes. That'd be the modern version of it today.
Yeah. So and it gets worse because they tried to double down on their claims of end-to-end encryption, because the camera itself was supposed to be end-to-end encrypted, including when we think end-to-end encryption, that means at no point is the data in flight ever unencrypted. People like, me and Tom, who have dealt with like HIPAA, COPA kind of laws and whatnot, understand as soon as that data is zeros and ones on your PC, it's already encrypted. From keyboard to document, it's encrypted. It's done. Turns out the camera communicating with the CPU and the local storage, not encrypted. It only encrypts it in flight when it leaves the device.
Yeah. HTTPS does not mean end-to-end. End-to-end has a very clear definition.
Right.
And we will not let marketing people destroy this definition.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, not end-to-end encrypted, as it turns out.
Nope. They can see your end in this one.
That brings a new definition to end-to-end encryption.
It does. Whole new context here. Oh man. Yeah, those fun stories make their rounds. I mean, you gotta have an icebreaker here.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That one came through and had to talk about that.
Yep.
Do you know I'm sure you know of the Pebble device, the Pebble smartwatches from a decade ago. Did you know they're coming back?
Yes, I've been kind of interested because I like the idea that people are building some open source for that.
Yeah. I saw it was coming back. Day one backer. Day one pre-order. I got mine in. As soon as it ships, I'll have it on my wrist. And I was a backer of the original Pebble Steel. I didn't get the original Pebble, but I had a friend who did. And then I got the Pebble Steel, and I wore that for like 3-4 years. Loved that device. And the same week that my Pebble Steel, I broke the screen on my Pebble Steel. It was the week it was bought by Fitbit. And they pulled everything off shelves, and it's like, well, I guess I'm not getting another one of those. They went through the slog of being sold to about a dozen different holding companies. Fitbit was the original purchaser, and then Fitbit was purchased by, was it Garmin? And then Garmin sold off their smart division to Google.
Yeah.
And then so Google ended up with the assets for Pebble, the OS, the hardware, all that kind of stuff. And then it just kind of sat there. Well, some of the original Pebble development team ended up working for Google, convinced Google to open source the Pebble OS. And they did. And so all of a sudden, Pebble's back. They're making hardware again, and this time it is 100% open source. In fact, I've been following a lot of the dev blogs by Eric. He's got a YouTube channel where he's going through the whole development process and things like that. They're not only open sourcing the operating system, they're also open sourcing the smartphone companion app. So even if they go away, you can still continue development of the companion app for Android, iOS, etc. They're also open sourcing they're basically like Fediversing the application repositories. And so if you want to host a repository for different Pebble applications, you can just add your repository to the companion app, and it'll look at your repository and pull app data from that. And you can download apps from your server. So like they're open sourcing end to end and making sure that Pebble died once, it can never die again.
Well, yeah, and it's really cool. I like the idea that you can pull in some of your own code and not have to go like through an app store and go through a lot of extra hoops to do that. I'm not unhappy mostly with my Garmin, other than a couple of changes they made recently. I had to turn off the heart monitor thing. They have the most annoying new thing they do where they force you to turn on 2FA, which I was like, okay, I guess I can turn on 2FA. But then it keeps prompting you once or twice a week for it. And it was like, Garmin's just the software's become trash. It's gotten worse. And I'm waiting for the AI foot to drop on it. So I've been kind of following the Pebble loosely, going, this one's not dead yet. Like, it works fine. The battery still lasts, but what am I getting next? Because
one of these days,
going downhill. What's out there?
After Pebble, the one that I found that I really liked was I had a Samsung Galaxy Active watch, and that worked really well. But the Achilles heel in it was the battery life. Especially when I'm traveling and I'm doing most of my communication from like airports and whatnot, and I'm replying to text messages and emails and things like that using the text to speech. Battery lasted maybe 12 or 13 hours, which when you're traveling is not a full day. And so I'd get to dinner and my watch is dead. And
for me, what I like about the Garmin is I charge it once a week. Maybe and my wife has a newer version of this same watch, and I think hers lasts almost week and a half before charging. That's one thing I got to say, they kill it with the battery life, man. It's just great. And so I started wearing a watch only a few years ago, and since then my phone has been on mute ever since. Like, this is it's just so handy. I don't care about replying to that, that's my
and that is precisely the number one use case of mine was I can deal with that later. It kept me from taking out my phone, unlocking it, going to the app, reading the notification, going, oh, I need to respond to that later. But now I open the email. It's no longer an unread email. Now, will I remember to get back to it? I don't know. And I just wasted a minute of my time anyway. Instead, I go, nope. It saves you 30 seconds at a time, but over the course of a day saved me like 30-40 minutes. And it's coming back. But this one caught my eye because they announced a new device yesterday that they're adding to the Pebble lineup. And this one's interesting. I think there's use cases for this. It's going to be niche, and it's going to be things that not everyone is going to need, but if you are the kind of person like I am, this might be golden. They are making a smart ring for recording your thoughts, which seems like a weird title at first. What it is, it's a ring. It's a smart ring with a button on it, and that button has a microphone on it. And so you press the button and you say, hey, I need to remember to pick up blah, blah, blah. And it writes that information down into your companion app on your phone. And it's completely in the background. So again, even saving time from the watch itself of having to go to like your notes app in the watch or pressing a certain combination of keys to record something. Your ring is not listening until you press the button. When you press the button, it connects to a companion app on your phone, and then the companion app can do the things in the background. Does the transcription, can add calendar appointments, can basically just like record what you say and take basic actions on it. So if you go like, hey, doctor's appointment 4:00 Saturday. Cool. Now it's done.
Yeah, no, that's pretty neat.
And again, like just a real niche, like simple time-saving thing that might save you 30 seconds at a time, but...
Well, and I always like the idea of technology that is more ubiquitous and integrated, and where you're not thinking about it. It's just you touch this like, hey, get milk when I go to the grocery store or whatever that might be. Those little reminders. And I like the smoothness. Just like we're saying, the watch itself of being able to go, that's something I replied to. That's something I not replied to. I can look at it. I don't have to get the phone on my pocket. I can. It's much less disruptive to my day, but I can still, at the same time, be effective and responsive for when people are calling.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone like me, I have a difficult time keeping on task. I am someone who does. When I play Skyrim, it's nothing but side missions. It's nothing but side quests, and that's kind of me in normal life too. Is it takes a bit to get
pandering. Those game makers might be pandering to the same audience.
Yeah.
They know their users. They know
100%.
They know what we like.
100%.
You know how long it took me to finish Ghost of Tsushima? My son's like, you're still playing it? How do you have that many hours into it? I'm like, side quests.
Yeah. Yeah. My only response is, you finish games.
I finally decided I felt like I need to put a pin in it because I wanted to play a different game. So.
Yeah. I will say 4 or 5 months ago, I finally sat down and ran through Tears of the Kingdom. And the only reason I get to finish games is I will get a wild hair and I'll like, all right, with my 2 hours a day towards the evening when the kids are in bed and everything else, I'm going to play this game. And I'm going to play this game until I'm done. And that's what I do. And part of that for me is going, okay, I can stop working now, and now I can go do something else.
Yeah,
is scheduling myself to go do something else. Otherwise, I just keep working.
Yep.
But
because there's like an unlimited, when you work for yourself, there's just an unlimited work. There's no delineation. There's no this is when work stops, and it's hard. There's just no, It's a challenge. You almost have to, like you said, schedule your gaming time, because you like set a timer. Like, all right, there's no family obligations. There's no business obligations. We're just going to go play video games for a little while.
Yep. Not 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is I'm trying to denote as gaming time or watching TV or whatever else. And those are the hours that I get to.
What I really started more recently, so I've had my company for over 20 almost 23 years now, but one of the things I really started doing was realizing I'm not effective after a certain amount of time. Like, I could keep working, but it's not quality work. It is me keeping busy. So sometimes I realize I watch for myself to do that, and I'll stop working earlier in the day more and more often as I've gotten older, where I'm like, it may be only 2:00, but I've decided I'm not effective anymore at doing things. Maybe I'll clean a few things, because I can always do that even when I'm not being effective. But sometimes I'm like, let's take a break. I'm just going to go watch something stupid on YouTube. I just watched Travis Pastrana dropped another Jim Hanna, with the Hoonigan stuff, and it's brilliant as always.
Nice.
So, in the Subaru. And a Subaru Brat, so they chose an odd vehicle for that one.
Okay, can I rant at Amazon for a sec, because someone asks what flat cap do you wear? So I'm like, I'll drop an Amazon link real quick, because I just buy these on Amazon. I have not set up a passkey on Amazon yet. I still use password and 2FA.
Yeah,
I should probably do that. Right. So I'm telling on myself a little bit right here. But can websites, for the love of God, stop moving context from a text box to a pop-up, because I type fast enough that I had already typed flat cap in my order search when would you like to create a passkey popped up, and I pressed enter to search, and it created a passkey with AT space CAP as the context. So now I get to go delete that key pass. It's like, stop it.
So I haven't looked at how Amazon does it. I've had some rants about passkeys, and I have some more rants coming.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the way the companies don't follow spec, if you will. And I think GitHub changed it. I noticed the other day I was playing with GitHub, and I think they changed it. I got to validate this. My problem with passkeys is they break 2FA.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, because it's supposed to be easier than typing in username and password. Fine. But where's my 2FA? And what you do is, GitHub was one of the examples I had given at the time. And like I said, they may have changed this. But if you save it as a passkey, you can then log in without two-factor anymore. And people are like, but Tom, you can't spoof a passkey. I'm like, but password managers have now made them portable. So now you can export a passkey. Jeff can have the passkey. Jeff can log in without 2FA. And if someone compromises your password manager, I know that's a high bar, as it should be. It's a pretty solid castle with a moat around it, right, and the drawbridge pulled up, but it still has a drawbridge.
It is still a thing, right?
Yeah. So you lose your compensating control of, the worst case scenario of you breaking into my password manager is I have two-factor elsewhere, not stored in my password manager. That's why my password manager is not available on my phone. That is by my own design. So my phone never has both of the pieces of information you need to log in. So if you compromise my password manager, that would be annoying and tragic, and I'd have to reset passwords. But my two-factor is still separate from that.
Yep. And that's pretty much why I haven't gone passkey yet. Is
and that's same answer here. Now I have gone passkey to bypass 2FA, because I share things with other people occasionally, and it's easier when there's no 2FA. And I'm like, I don't care about the site enough. If it's a site if someone got into it, I mean, I'd be annoyed, but not end of the world. So some of those sites are like, cool, passkey, and then I can share it with my wife, and she can log in too without my two-factor.
Yeah. But especially for the sites that I have financial interest in, where both buying and affiliate codes, like Amazon, eBay, those are password with 2FA, and it's 2FA every time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Green sends over $2. Super chat. MXM show and tell. Green protagonist, I love you. I also hate you. So we talked about this group last week. Very exclusive group in my Discord server called Expensive Idea Shills. If I'm the shill and I'm trying to get you to buy things, I have patrons who their goal in life is to get me to buy things. And do projects about them, so they don't have to spend the money. So, hey Jeff, go out and buy this super expensive thing so we can see it in a project. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. And so if you make me spend $500 on a project, you get an exclusive tag on the Discord called Expensive Idea Shell, and and your name is green for money now. It's a great incentive. Green has yet to force me to buy something, but he shared something the other day that put his first $100 down, and this one may turn into a project that exceeds that $500 mark. This thing is cursed. Let me just start with that. I'm holding it right now. It's heavy. I like to do weird crap with enterprise graphics cards.
Yeah.
And when I see a really weird enterprise graphics card pop up, I usually snag it, even if there's nothing I can do with it, because I've proven I can eventually do something with just about everything. I have this. Do you have any idea what this is?
No, but I mean, I see some cool card. I see the memory. I mean, I get the graphics card stuff with it.
Yeah. So this is a product from HP for some early machine learning servers, as we now call AI servers. This is an MXM carrier board. So these are MXM graphics cards. There's 4 slots in this carrier. This has 3 Tesla M6s, so Maxwell 900 series NVIDIA M6s. But MXM is an open format, and so you could drop whatever you want into this. Like Tesla P6s or T6s or a GTX 1080 mobile or a RTX 3080 mobile or whatever you want, because all they do is plug into this. And this splits those out as a by-4 bifurcation of a PCI Express 16. So you can put 4 graphics cards into a single slot on a
neat.
in the cooling is going to be insane with this, because this needs this little piece right here. Those are your fins. That's your cooler. That's all of it.
How's the? Well, I mean, normally you get cross flow from that. So how you have to custom build something?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a blower on the back of this so it can force air to go through this. There's, I don't believe, any fins inside. No, those are direct die down. Are they? I don't know. I'll have to tear it apart. I'm not sure yet if there's fins inside. Oh, yes. Okay, there are heat sinks on there. I can see them now. Okay, so there's heat sinks on the top, and then there's a cold plate on the bottom with thermal pads to take with heat pipes to take the heat away from the back of the heat sinks.
Okay.
So kind of a 2-stage setup there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't know if it'll even work. I don't know what, but that was $89.
Oh.
And now I have an MXM carrier board.
You know, I'm not someone who messes a lot with the weird hardware, but if you want to know when I say watch dumb things on YouTube, that's the dumb things I'm watching, is someone do something strange with strange hardware.
Right. Yeah.
We eat lots of retro things and stuff like that. I'm like, those are just fun things to watch. Like, I want to see someone really tear this apart and do something fun with it.
Yep. And that's, I find a lot of niches in that. I mean, that's why I've done so much on like home cloud game streaming and things like that. It's fun to be able to take hardware and do things that was never intended to be done with it. Or simply that was the exact use case, and just no one ever used it for that. Like there's so much opportunity to explore with hardware like that. Zeus sends over $5. Thank you so much. The biggest tragedy to me will always be the death of Fossil smartwatches. I never really knew much about the Fossil smartwatches. Like I was aware of them, but I couldn't tell you what they did. I was a Pebble fan, so
yeah, I know they're a popular brand. So.
Yeah. And then Jay sends over $5. Thank you so much. Difficult time keeping on task. Neurodivergence in Minecraft computing.
It's a whole spectrum of us.
Yeah. Look, the phrase I like to use a lot is I attract a certain clientele.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, today's video does have a sponsor. And let me make sure I click on the right one here. Yep, I did. All right. Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by Meter. If you've ever built out a business network, you know you have to deal with one vendor for switches, another for routers, one for power, yet another for Wi-Fi points. A lot of the reason that, well, Tom and I built businesses doing that exact thing for customers is filling in that middle ground. Then there's local ISPs, there's installers, and when something goes wrong, it all lands back on your desk. That's where Meter comes in. Meter delivers an all-in-one networking stack that bundles everything you need in a single package, including high-speed wired and wireless networking, power delivery, firewall and routing, and even cellular, all in a single integrated solution that's built for performance and scalability. Meter handles everything from network design, procurement, installation, and will even negotiate with your ISP to get you the best rates on internet connectivity. All of that shows up in a single cloud-based dashboard, giving you clear visibility into every layer of your network. You get the connectivity your business needs, all for a predictable monthly cost. Best of all, there's no upfront expenses. Meter ships the hardware you need today and will automatically upgrade your hardware as time goes on, ensuring your users and your business always have the tools they need. Whether you're starting up a new business, expanding to a new location, or simply modernizing an aging network, let Meter take care of the hassle for you. Visit meter.com/craftcomputing to book a demo today. Again, that's meter.com/craftcomputing, and another thanks to Meter for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Meter.
You've watched the IT Crowd, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. We were in discussion while we were on Thanksgiving. My friend Dan, he's a proper nerd as well, but he's refused to watch it. And because he's a hard nose on this one. If it has a laugh track, he cannot watch that show. And I'm like,
Ooh.
This is a place where you have to make an exception. But
Yeah.
I said, I feel you on the I hate laugh tracks too. I said, but it was of the era.
Yeah.
It was just, it is what it is. It's worth watching. It's worth tolerating a laugh track because it's great.
Yeah.
And his wife was on our side as well. So it was like,
yes, I'm a fan of the IT Crowd.
yes.
Moss's Scared Straight episode is hilarious, and I always wanted to take it a bit further, and so I actually make these wallets and sell them on the store. What if Maurice Moss was actually Jules in another universe? He's a bad mother flipper. All right.
Fun times.
Yeah. Roundabout segue, but speaking of microphones and things, speaking of the Pebble microphone on your ring, this one has been making the rounds this week, and Tom and I both raised the same eyebrow, I think, when we saw this, because look, I'm glad that people are paying attention to potential exploits, vulnerabilities, shortcomings, things like that in products. That's always great. It's always a great idea to have that mindset. Trust but verify. There's a reason that phrase exists.
Yep.
This article came out, and quite a few different people picked it up over the last week, that your cheap devices from China may come with hidden sensors and hacking tools.
I like the microphone they put on there.
Right. Yeah.
That's not what it looks like, folks.
Nope. This device being the Sipeed Nano, a KVM device developed by Sipeed, running a RISC-V processor that is designed to be an out-of-band access KVM device to access servers. I think I've reviewed this one. If not this one, I know I've done the Jet KVM. I know I've done quite a few of these little products. They all kind of sprung up all at once, and then all kind of like became like part of the normal offering within like a month. And so now you can get these, and they're $35, $50, $70, somewhere around in that price point. But they all come out of China or are based on open source projects, like Jet KVM is based on the Pi KVM project. The funny thing about the Sipeed Nano, though, is they're being called out for posing significant security risks. A security researcher from Slovenia, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, found the popular Nano KVM contained a hidden microphone together with hacking tools and dangerous exploits that would make exploitation trivial.
Yeah. But hidden is kind of an exaggeration. It was hidden in the documentation, which is probably a great place to hide things from people who like outrage.
Yes.
If you read the specs, and Jeff Geerling covered this well, by the way, if you're ever wondering if there's a secret Discord where all of us discuss this ahead of time, including Jeff Geerling.
Yes.
This definitely occurred.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff Geerling. He posted a video yesterday or Monday about this, going,
Yep.
yeah, there's a microphone. It's in the docs. Like, if you would read the documentation, there's a microphone that you can use for monitoring server activity and hearing fans spin up and things like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, you could use it for that, but first, it's not actually in the code to be enabled, but it is in the board because this is a RISC reference board that was built.
Right.
The people that were building it decided it made a cool KVM, but it was a reference board that had other features. It was like a RISC. How cheap can we make a cheap RISC board for? So yes, it did come with a microphone on it, but it's also, if you read the reference board spec that is on Sipeed's site, not hidden somewhere, it says it has audio on it, in and out, microphone listed. So I was just like, what do you mean? There's a few of us were all kind of just chatting about it, because also of the concerns I have about KVMs, it listening to me, maybe a concern, maybe a privacy violation, but it has control of my keyboard and mouse and video. That seems much more concerning to me. If there's any security issues, it's related to the fact that I've given it access to my keyboard and mouse and screen. Those are where all of your concerns should lie. Now, there were some problems found with the way they implemented SSH. They did fix it. They had some type of default settings or whatever that were less secure. I don't remember the details in there. But
they had the full story, as I understand it, is Sipeed launched the Nano KVM early this year, February, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was under the promise of, if we sell enough units, we'll open source it, which seems weird unless you live in that industry. They needed to buy a license for the drivers for the RISC-V SoC to be able to open source those drivers. We need to make enough revenue to be able to open source this. If no one wants this device, we're not going to pay the license. Like, plain simple as can be. And so a lot of people got mad at that, but they sold enough units. They did open source it. They still had some closed blobs though that were raising concern with the open source community more than anything else. And a callback feature. Well, they were using their own servers to basically issue certificates for the final authentication piece, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, that's how a lot of services work like that.
You host your servers where you are,
right?
So, I mean, they're like, it called back to China. I'm like, well, they're based in China.
Yeah.
They're writing the code,
right? And again, to their credit, they did have a couple of, like, they had an SSH vulnerability and they had one other vulnerability that was discovered, and they patched those rather quickly. And then they also open sourced all their blobs. And so cool.
Yeah.
The microphone being on the board is not that much of a concern when you understand the logistics of building a device like this, especially for how inexpensive that they made this device. I have a similar project in which I've used a reference board with an add-on on top of it to create a new bespoke product that may not take advantage of everything on the reference board. This board has Bluetooth. I don't use Bluetooth at all. It's not turned on, but it's there.
Is your microphone on it, Jeff? We just got to get it out now.
Right. I don't think there's a microphone on it.
Better check the docs.
Right. My PoE board is not based on this. We actually designed our own board from scratch with an RP2040, and all of our boards will be bespoke from here on out. But yeah, my original beta was a reference platform for the Raspberry Pi Pico.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't want to take the time to understand the nuance of how that works.
Yeah.
But I talked about this before when I've reviewed not that particular one, but other ones. People are like, well, what if it wants to go to the internet? I'm like, then block the internet. Hopefully you know how firewalls work. Right. And I do like the tinfoil hat people that comment on those videos. But Tom, they can get around firewall rules. Don't you know that? I'm like, no, they can't. Maybe your firewall rules because you don't know what you're doing. But if you set firewall rules up that say don't go out the internet, there's not a magic path they find around firewalls.
I love the tinfoil hat people not thinking their own arguments through, because they might be making valid security arguments of, well, what if it phones home to China? That this device was made, it's a Chinese company. You don't think it's going to phone home? And it's like, well, number one, you can check if it is. Number two, where do you think every electronic device that exists in your life was manufactured? Every last one. All of them.
It is occasionally exhausting.
Yeah. And they're like, well, yeah, but it can get through the fight. It's the same crowd that came out and thought it was a viable attack that someone on the supply chain side implemented a board on the Supermicro motherboards. Implemented a processor on the Supermicro motherboards.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And, wasn't it Bloomberg?
The Bloomberg article, yeah.
Yeah. They still have not.
They've not printed a retraction. Yeah.
No retraction to this day.
Yeah. But from any standpoint, if you understand anything about the logistics of building and manufacturing a product, especially for a billion-dollar corporation like Supermicro, the idea of the compromises that would have to be made for something like that to come to fruition. So for those who don't remember, the original story was out of China in a supply chain attack. They have designed a little system on chip with its own storage and processing and networking, and it is integrated into your Supermicro motherboard, and it can read all of your data that's transferring back and forth, and it can exfiltrate that data off of the server completely invisibly. Okay. Problems with that.
Yeah.
Any device that's added to a PC gets a PC identifier in Linux. It shows up as 0000.10.a1 or whatever. It gets an identifier so the system can call it within memory. Unless it's not going through memory. No, it's going directly to the Ethernet. Well, Ethernet packets have to travel through a firewall. So unless they've also sideloaded the firewall with code that will only allow their traffic through to their endpoint and somehow hidden that from compliance checks and what... It doesn't exist. Not only that, but a thing that small probably didn't exist anyway, let alone the capabilities that they were claiming for it. And yeah, never a retraction, never anything else. They said, yeah, these are actively in data centers with Amazon and Apple and okay, show me one, prove one, bring one to me, photograph one. Couldn't do it.
Nope, not a one. No evidence at all.
Yep. It was great.
Yeah,
but hey,
tinfoil's gonna tinfoil. There's just those people are. I choose to follow the rules. The term is called hug your haters. I replied to them once. I don't engage in full-on conversation. Sometimes they're worthy of a reply, but often not a follow-up.
Yep. But again, the funny thing is, it's rooted in like some good practices. Hey, what if this calls home? Well, see if the device is calling home, and if it is, block it. Like, you should do that with HP products. You should do that with Supermicro products. You should do that with your random Chinese AliExpress purchases. You should do that with any product that goes on your network. See what it's accessing and see where it's going, and then you can trust it.
Yeah, or not trust it.
Yeah. I've dealt with so many weird issues of products in the past. There was one in particular that I got hit with. This was maybe 2009. We had a rash of PCs that all of a sudden got a new desktop icon on the desktop, regardless, and Windows XP, corporate environment, Active Directory. None of the users had administrative rights, so it wasn't something that could have been installed. It wasn't something that came via Windows Update. We had a WSUS server running. All updates had to be approved. But they had a new icon on their desktop that's, I think it said Bluebird or something like that. And it was a little blue icon with a bird, looked kind of like the Twitter logo, but definitely not. And we're like, where the crap did that come from? And why did 700 PCs end up with that icon overnight. And why is it when I uninstall it, it reinstalls even when disconnected from the network? Something locally is installing this application. Come to find out, there was a supply chain attack for LG DVD writer drives, where the firmware had written into it an installer executable that would install this application. That was basically an ad delivery program. The old internet ActiveX, side loads that would change your search provider and recommend you coupons and crap like that. Someone infiltrated LG, and the DVD drives that shipped with these systems was installing this and sideloading onto the PCs.
Fun.
Really, really wild. And it took us and the OEM we bought them from a couple of weeks to track it down to exactly what was doing it. Because we did determine it was only this one vendor that it was doing it to, but it wasn't all of their systems. And we eventually crossed that, hey, it was this particular model of DVD writer drive had a firmware that would install this software.
Lenovo had a similar one, probably about the same time period, 8 or 9 years ago. A lot of people don't realize this is something Microsoft worked with vendors for. They have a spot that can be flashed into the BIOS that loads certain drivers. And it's a Microsoft only feature. To my knowledge, I've never seen Linux take advantage of this, but it's basically you can load this driver into a spot into the BIOS. So when Windows starts installing, it can pull that driver and get that thing working that you want working. Well, Lenovo had contracted with a third-party company, and their name eludes me at the moment. But it was interesting. It was not on their business line that Lenovo had, like their ThinkPad series, but their consumer line. The we don't care about you, but we found a way to make some extra money. We can sell the PC for cheaper by loading it with crapware that this company wants to load on there.
Yep.
But the company's crapware went a step further and filled and populated their crappy software into that spot. So because that spot wasn't really used, I guess, on the consumer Lenovo's. So it was like, hey, look, we found an empty spot. You know what we can do? Every time you reload Windows, it'll pull this, and it pulls just enough because the full crapware is bigger than that spot, but it's a stub installer that goes out and downloads the rest of it. So you're like, you format and reload it, and the crapware comes back.
Yeah. I've seen recently, actually,
Superfish. That was, it was called Superfish. Yep. Someone. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Coffee J. Yeah. Both of them got hit by that. Recently, if you want to see this working on consumer platforms the way it should, I know Asus does this with a lot of their workstation boards, and Gigabyte has been doing this as well, is you'll do a fresh install onto a new PC of like Windows 11, and you don't have network drivers because Windows 11 doesn't have that particular network driver packaged. But you'll get a little pop-up that's from Asus that says, hey, would you like to install drivers and connect that and get the latest updates? One of their stub installers is the network driver. So it can install the network driver and then call out to Asus servers and pull down the rest of their driver package. And it makes setting up a new system like that trivial. Like before, you had to go to the website, download the network driver, get a USB drive because you don't have network on that machine, now it's like, oh yeah, you need the network driver, it's loaded in a little flash chip here on the PC. We'll automatically install it, we'll then go out, we'll fetch updates. It all just kind of works.
Oh, how technology has shifted and changed.
Yep.
Not all of it for the better.
Right. So this beer is an interesting one. Looks like a beer, right? This is a stout.
That stout is the wrong color, sir.
This is a stout. This is from Brewery Omgang, called the Everything Naughty. This is a white chocolate imperial blonde stout, clocking in at 9.5%. This is a stout.
Wow.
It's just not toasted.
It's just not toasted. It's got to be toasted. It seems like a requirement.
What's funny is it smells like a stout.
All right.
It smells roasty.
Golden stout, I see people are posting. Yeah. So I'm sure you guys probably talked about it last week, but did you really expect in December of 2025 for Apple to have reasonable memory prices?
Yeah, they're actually the bargain now.
Yeah. It's not because they lowered their prices. No,
right.
Not for the reason you think.
Is Apple pulling the steam and just watching everyone else shoot themselves in the foot right now? Probably. Yeah.
It's these AI people. I mean, I can't wait for this bubble to pop. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
On the good news, I didn't expect this, but it's happening. We're winning here in Michigan on overturning, and we got our attorney general. She apparently got fired up, and she's kind of interesting. More on that in a moment. But we're turning over all the data centers. We're denying them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it is an interesting fight because all this stuff is basically redacted, deals with the power company, all very shady the way it's all done.
Yeah.
And Nessel, I think her name's Danielle Nessel's our AG. She became really popular on, I think it was on Twitch, because there's someone who's playing Grand Theft Auto and she was citing all the laws he was breaking as he was playing on a live stream. She became popular for a moment because that she's got a great sense of humor.
That's hilarious.
It was just one of those moments. But she's fighting it, and which is funny because it opposes the governor. The governor's trying to greenlight it, saying this is the future for Michigan. It's going to bring jobs, and everyone who's looked at it goes, no, it brings chaos and tax deals and no jobs. There's not that many people to work at data centers, for those of you who didn't know. So like 2 or 3 of them have been declined that were pretty much set to be approved. And so we're kind of watching things get won. 404 Media picked up the war here in Michigan going on between the data center companies, which specifically is OpenAI.
Yeah.
And Dana Nessel. Yep.
Yep. Now here in Oregon, we have some of the largest data centers just in the foothills of the Cascades in the Dalles and what are the other towns over there? Basically in like no man's land. Like there's a lot of people who don't live there. A lot of the tech companies have set up large data centers. Apple's got one over there, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, I believe Netflix even has one of their small bespoke facilities over there. I don't think OpenAI is here yet, but if they're not, they probably will be. Meta's over there. And it's because land is cheap and power is even cheaper because of the abundance of hydro. And so you could put in hundreds and hundreds of megawatts for 3 cents a kilowatt hour. Like it's ridiculously inexpensive.
They wanted to drop both of them. One was north of roughly Ann Arbor area, which is a little bit northwest of Detroit. So these are all relatively close and in populated areas. They required rezoning. These are not rural areas.
Right.
And the other one is roughly on the edge of Ann Arbor in an adjacent town. And part of the reason for one of those is with the university, they get a tax break because the university owns a ton of land and universities are nonprofit, so they don't have to pay taxes. So they're kind of back-ending the deal to try to put it on somewhere where they don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Stupid stuff.
Is it Sandy, Oregon? Yeah. Sandy. Okay. Yeah, the Dalles, Sandy, there's a couple other little towns out there, but yeah, basically they exist now to run data centers.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a couple of areas in Virginia like that. That's where a huge number of them are, right?
Yeah,
relatively close to Washington and lots of 3-letter agencies.
Yep. Yeah, the nice thing about this location is it's kind of that nice spot between Denver, Seattle, San Francisco, where you can get over to the West Coast and then go north or south.
Yep.
And so, yeah, they found a nice little hotbed there, and they've had data centers there for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah, the AI ones are a lot different because it's the amount of kilowatts per rack that they're able to run,
Right.
and the amount of power they take is substantially higher than the other data centers. They're like, we need another nuclear. That's why they want to come here. We have a nuclear plant. We have Fermi, and they're like, well, let's just tap into that thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, I can't wait for the bubble to pop. I'm not wholeheartedly anti-AI as far as like LLMs and things like that.
I don't like the hype.
I don't like the hype. The hype is not there. They have yet to really produce a viable product that they want general AI, and what we have is not that.
Right. It just gets things so stupidly wrong.
Yeah.
What was I setting up on the other day? And I just said, oh, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to point AI at the docs. I said, here's the docs. Build me a Docker Compose for this tool.
Yeah.
It put something in. I stared at it. I said, I don't think that's in there. I went and looked at the docs myself. No, it's not in there at all. I said, why'd you put that in? And he goes, I don't know. I'll take it out. And I'm like, you're making it hard for me for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also loves making up ZFS commands. I actually love that Alan Jude over at Clara, he's got an article of can you tune ZFS with AI? And he walks you all the stupid things it does that are completely wrong.
Yep.
And will detune your ZFS setup with AI. What I really like is one of the things he points out in there is why it's so wrong about things. And thank you, OpenAI, for training on Reddit, where there's confident ignorance all over the place, sometimes upvoted to be the top response. And so that filtered its way into the AI, giving you terrible bad responses to how to set certain settings in ZFS.
I've done a couple AI videos recently, playing around with local LLMs, because
local LLMs are awesome.
Yeah, that more than anything else intrigues me when it comes to workflow. I don't use LLMs to write my scripts. I don't use LLMs even in pretty much at any stage of production. But I have used it to check my tone before. Hey, am I delivering this properly? Is this the right thing that I'm trying to say? I have had it reword some things for me before, but it doesn't write for me.
No.
And nor does it come up with ideas. It doesn't. Yeah.
It's a giant pile of mediocrity is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. So it doesn't do a great job of new ideas, but definitely I've used it for, I was trying to say something and I'm like, there's a better way to say this. I'll throw the phrase in there. I'm like, what's a better way to phrase this? And this is the goal I'm trying to reach, is to teach someone this. I'm like, oh, cool. It just put the word as a better turn of phrase. And I think that's great. And I think it's useful in that context, but it's such a generator of mediocrity because it's based on everything. So you get this really beige, if you could put words as a color. It's very bland way it does it. It overuses adjectives just for the sake of using them. It's not good. But for some of those random things like that, and kind of like I said earlier about using image, some of the things that have come out is these analyzers to look at photos. So I like that when you have 55,000 photos and I want to find a specific thing, you can string together a few words. If I have a few pieces, like when Tom was wearing a yellow shirt, you can put that in there and it is able to go, hey, I found pictures of you wearing a yellow shirt. So great. We can narrow down the photos you're looking for by the context that's been added to it. That is really cool. And it's all done locally. And I think those are amazing, like, side effects that have come out. But the concept that you can just simply replace people with it is, I get that's the allure, because employees, especially as knowledge workers, as a lot of professional services, what they're going after are expensive assets to companies. So the allure is to say, well, you were paying this person $120K a year. We could replace them with an AI for $50K a year. No, you can't. Doesn't work. It turns out AI is not quite that nuanced, and we're not there.
So I've been trying to get down to at the heart of LLMs, why do they hallucinate? And that's the $100 question, right?
Yeah.
Or the $100 billion question, right? Like, if we could figure out why they hallucinate, and I've just been toying with it alone here, just picking at one. And one of my favorite questions to ask is, again, because I think I said this in one of my videos, I am a person who has some notoriety, but not a lot of notoriety unless you are in my exact circle. Like, if you're a Homelabber and an open source enthusiast and you like weird projects with old technology, you probably know who I am. Outside of that niche, I'm just another guy. But I have enough data online that if you've scraped that data, I'm pretty easy to dial in.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things to ask is, are you aware of the YouTube channel Craft Computing? What can you tell me about it? And every LLM will spit out, oh yeah, it's ran by James Miller or Mikey or Josh or Tyler or whoever. And former programmer turned content creator and has a wealth of knowledge and experience and such hit videos as running Docker containers on a Raspberry Pi and why Unraid is the answer to all your NAS problems. You know, things I definitely would not say.
Yeah.
And I would say, hey, I don't think that's accurate. Can you cite your sources? And he goes, sorry, I was giving examples of what a YouTuber like Craft Computing might be like. I don't have any actual information. It's like, well, then why did you present it that way? It's because AI doesn't have the ability to, or LLMs, I should say.
Yeah.
It's not AI. Doesn't have the ability to reason data. It is, I know it's more complex than this, but it's a glorified cut and paste algorithm.
Well, there's a really good, in one of the recent videos, I just sent you a link if you want to bring it up on screen. It's from, I'll drop it here. Can I drop a YouTube link in the chat? Probably not.
You can, hold on.
Let me do it. Welch Labs, if you feel like going deep into the mathematics of how AI works, great channel for that. But the last one of the videos on what is this called? Back propagation. He did a two-part series on back propagation, and he builds a tiny mini model out of only 3 answers in it to walk you through how the weighting and everything works and how it weights answers. He's got some of the best explainers that are deep in the weeds mathematically, but give you really, I mean, and he is a great visual explainer. Yeah. I mean, the dude does time stop with a bunch of cutouts to move and make motion graphics that are super cool. Like, I like his presentation style. Oh, and someone else, I was going to say too, 3 blue, 1 brown as well.
Yeah, it's not letting you post links. It's auto-filtering them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got the moderator notice now.
Yep. So that's that, but there's also the allow user to post anything. So,
awesome. But yeah, those are definitely a couple channels you can watch where you can really get a good idea of like what is actually going on. Yeah, backprop is for more basic neural nets, but Welch Labs gives you good fundamentals for a lot of understanding, so you can build up to the understanding of how things work. And I know they're not like, there's always more complexity, and we don't know always the full breadth of things that they're doing at OpenAI. I also am a big follower of Ed Zitron because he breaks down how things are working. Actually, you know, it was Michael Reeves did a really fun one. He, using the API, he showed how you can get he totally broke OpenAI in the funnest way. You can only do this if you're doing it via API. So every time you ask a question, it turns out they're doing something really stupid. If you're not, you don't see this unless you're using the API, but every time you ask a question, they grab all the context from the start of the conversation and feed it back then to that question. And so when you ask the next question, it feeds it back again. So what you can do with the API is different. With the API, you can change what all your previous responses were. So he did. And it's this funny short video he got where he completely made it spit out the most crazy gibberish, and it went nuts, and it was hysterical. It is such a funny video to watch. It's like, it's one of his shorts. It's all a couple minutes long, but yeah. But there's a lot of that little stuff. And once you realize it's so much of it's just predictive next word, it's in the most basic context of what AI is doing. It's not thinking. They call them reasoning or thinking because they'll take the different predictions and then try to make assumptions about the prediction as if they call that thinking, but this is what leads to it. Now, this is also why, though, you get less hallucinations with RAG. So when you use, you're narrowing the context down a lot, so you've given it a narrower scope to not wander off the beaten path on and start telling you a bunch of randomness.
Yeah, I have considered training, trying to do some training of a local LLM, even just on my own speech, and hey, how would I write this Cliff Notes into something? Like I've considered doing that because, man, if it could streamline the creative process, that would be a heck of a thing, right? The problem is, in the creative process, I'm creating something new all the time. The thing that I'm trying to create hasn't been created before. And that's something that the current algorithms are not able to do. I want to review this all-new graphics card. Cool. This graphics card didn't exist yesterday. There's zero context on the ins and outs of reviewing this graphics card. I have to do that, and then I have to write about it. And you know what? The writing about it is not the hard part. And so there's certain aspects that it's like, yeah, I've used LLMs to, hey, is my meaning clear? What am I meaning by this paragraph that I just wrote? Okay, cool, it got the gist of it. Is my tone correct for an email that I'm trying to send? Like I'm trying. Again, someone on the spectrum, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be condescending, I don't want to be whatever else, but I have something that I need to say. Is the tone accurate? Cool. AI thinks it's good. All right, I'll send that. But creating something out of thin air, even training it based on literally the lifetime of scripts of craft computing over the last 8 years, it's probably not going to be great because I was trying to train it to do an ad read for me, to help write an ad. Hey, I need a 30-second pitch for X company, and the product is this, and this is their general business model, but it needs to be like a YouTube pitch. It needs to be high energy, that kind of thing. And I think the pitch was, "Are you tired of juggling clowns?" And I'm like, all right, maybe leave the jokes to me.
Yeah. You know what, though? There are things I know it's really good at, and it's the if you need backronyms, it's fun for silly things like that. If you need a bunch of good play on words for things, it can just have some times it really nails it. You may have to get 10 BS outputs that aren't great, but then that 11th one, you're like, ooh, that is particularly funny. And so I keep it open all the time because I am frequently chatting with it. To the same extent, I found it really helpful. Someone was asking me some Cisco questions today that I just don't know, like what they wanted to do, because they were using I don't use Cisco. It's called Ether Channel or whatever. It's the Cisco version of LACP. Yep. And so I'm like, I don't know, let's punch it into the chat. Oh, cool. It's using this, and this. This is the setting you need to change in it. Like I was able to answer the question. Once again, it's easy to predict because when I type in Cisco Ether Channel and these next couple words of like what type of LACP connection to get it compatible with a Unify switch, it doesn't have to, it knows the question. That's been asked a million times before. It's the same reason, people are amazed when like, hey, look, I told it to create something in Python, the Gorillas game or something like
Yeah.
that. And it completely did it. I'm like, there's so many copies of the Gorillas game out there, like
Yeah.
from the basic, and everyone's ported it to every other language. So yes, it produces it fine. Ask it to do some assembly. Turns out it's extremely wrong. Steve Gibson talked about this in the last Security Now podcast because he writes in assembly, and he thought he would try some really rudimentary stuff that absolutely anyone who does any basic assembly should know. And he was like, yeah, there's so little assembly language assumed into the model. It had no idea. It told him, it made up things in assembly. It didn't even, it's like it had the idea that a couple of those were assembly words, but yeah, it fell apart quick.
Yeah.
I do like people. I mean, come on, we all love Gorilla.bass. Get my QBasic going, play my Gorilla game. I'm sure it's on Steam.
It's got to be, right? Yeah. Fat Hacker chimes in with $5. Thank you so much. How's the root beer treating you, by the way? Why does cloud have to cloud? Paper cut as global license outage resulting in a global printer outage. Oh no. Is this going back to Cloudflare? Because there was a minor thing this morning, I guess. But a minor blip of some kind. But
yeah.
Paper cut. What is not familiar with Paper cut.
I think it's one of those managed print tools.
Yeah.
I haven't used it. There's a couple. I can't remember the one we were using before I became unemployed.
Okay.
It's been like a month now that I've been unemployed. So
cool. The YouTube Studio live broadcast panel still has a memory leak, and that's what I was just dealing with. My stream started freezing there.
Yeah.
Yep. If you leave it on for too long, it'll either crash or it will use 100% of your CPU.
Ah. Fun.
Yep. So let me just bring up the chat now. There we go. Cool. Ugh.
Yeah, why can't computers just work? Yeah, I've dove into a few of those AI things, and yeah, they're pretty neat.
Okay, yeah. Some incidents reported. Down detector, paper cut.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Look, man, go self-hosted. That's the way. This is the best place to do it here.
We had a joke at my last company that the new guy got put on print server duty. Because we had print servers for Mac OS and Windows, and we had to deploy printers. And starting for the longest time, every office worker got their own printer on their desk, and rather than community printers. And so, when I started there, we refilled our own toner cartridges, and I ended that really quick because I also got yelled at for not dressing up to shirt, tie, slacks. Like you work in, you're white collar worker, you dress up, and it's like, I'm crawling under desks for a living. I said, you can either give me an extra $5,000 a year for clothes, or you can accept that I'm going to wear cargo pants and a polo. Okay, one of these things is not like the other. And eventually they relented and said, okay, you can dress a little more comfortably and a little bit more heartily, and that'll be fine. Because I was blowing out a pair of knees on a set of slacks a week. It's like, that's not going to work. But we also refilled toner cartridges, which means I was also blowing out a pair of slacks a week, refilling toner cartridges.
Toner's awful.
Yeah. And the longest fought battle was, no, every cube has a printer, because we don't want workers having to get up and go to a community printer to get their print jobs and then walk back to their desk and, oh, I grabbed your print job. Sorry. So much wasted time and effort organizing where things are printed, right? Never mind that we're spending $200 per cubicle on a printer, plus the management time overhead for maintaining all of those printers, and refilling toner cartridges and replacing toner cartridges and supplying paper. And yeah, eventually I won, and we got down to community printers, and so we were like one printer every 50 cubes or something like that.
What are people still printing today? I mean, that's just...
Great question. I didn't win that battle, but I finally got down to like, could we just get some work group printers, please?
Mm-hmm. They're just...
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping COVID killed some of it. I mean, I get it. I used to print maps. There was a time I actually did print things. And I used to print photos because I thought that was cool. When
my job interview for that job was printed on MapQuest directions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's there was a time, but I feel like that time is gone. That it's past. What are we printing in? Do people have printers at home? I actually think so most of my friends are all the deep technical nerds. I really don't have many friends that are not. But my wife has normal people friends. And so I'm always interested, like, that they don't. Now, the part that blows my mind is the ones that don't have computers. They live off their phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that's weird to me. Like, there's no computer here at all. You live on your phone. Strange.
you know there's a meme and a stereotype about millennials and Gen Xers getting out the laptop to make a big purchase.
Yeah.
Because
I got to buy a house. Got to open a laptop.
Right. Yeah. I don't feel like I should be able to spend $6,000 for my phone. And so I was like, we got to hold on. I'm going to order the new laptop now.
My wife does hotels and flights from her phone. And I'm like, no,
I can't do that either. Yeah.
No. She, yeah, I don't know. She seems happy doing it. My wife travels a lot more than me. So
yeah,
for work. And she's like, I'll book a flight. And I'm like, where's your laptop?
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely got... I don't have a lot of the millennial stereotypes, but I have that one of like, no, big purchases need to be done on a laptop.
Yep. No, I agree with that. I don't like typing much on the phone either, so I'm not a big fan. It's my biggest reason for owning my MacBook Air. It's an old one, but I don't care about how fast it is. It's just my way to reply to all my messages. Yeah. Because I just don't like typing on my phone. Yep.
I don't even like typing on the iPad. I hate touchscreen typing.
No, I want to type on a keyboard. It's just anything. And how is voice? We have AI. We're spending billions on. We're boiling the oceans with this stuff, and yet voice to text just does dumb. And I'm like,
has not improved in 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. In some ways, I feel like it's regressed. I sometimes say things. I'm like, how does it? Why did it put a period and think this is another sentence? Look what I sent to someone, because I was staring at it after I sent it. I'm like, why did it hit send? Because this is so unformatted. Whatever. It's a friend of mine that knows that I'm answering on my phone probably, and I don't care.
So two of my kids have non-standard spellings of their first names. They're not like weird names, like I'm sure you've seen the subreddit, the tragedy subreddit. TRAGEDEGIH or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's a letter that is how do I explain? There's two spellings of Jeff. There's JEFF and there's GEOFF. And so those are very common spellings of that name. It's both of my kids have just an alternate spelling that's not like the most typical spelling. But text to speech. My phone should know how those names are spelled at this point in time. If I say their names, it spells both their names wrong. There's no one in my phone contact list that shares a name with those people.
Yep.
So it's like, even contextually aware, it should understand I'm talking about those people or that particular spelling. Or maybe the fact that I've written that name that way 1,000 times. Maybe you start auto-correcting. But no, instead it auto-corrects everything else.
Yeah. Well, my wife's name is Cass, and it wants to put CASS all the time, not KASS. And it's like, she's in my phone as KASS. So she knows that I'm using voice, because I'm not going to correct it for her. She's like, oh, yeah.
my wife's name is Megan, but it's MEAGAN. And so, again, it's not the standardized but it's still a very popular spelling. You could throw an H in there if you want, but MEA is also acceptable. But if I'm trying to text someone and I'm trying to talk about my wife, it's MEGAN. No, that's not what I meant. And you should know that, phone.
The frustrations with technology. Why can't it just work? He spent all his time making it worse and trying to turn me into a subscription. At least make it good in the meantime.
Right.
Make me want to use it more, because I want to use it less every day.
If you're going to boil the oceans, don't make me delete what you just text to speech or speech to text and make me correct it. Exactly. It should be good enough that I don't have to.
Yes.
The juice should be worth the squeeze.
I could imagine at some point, I do want to try like Graphene and some of the other OSs. It's kind of been on my to-do list.
Yeah. I've thought about Graphene. I had Pixel phones for a long time. I have not had good luck with the most.
You've had a lot of problems. I mean, you talked to all your Pixel problems, and you just seem to get phones that die a lot. So. Right.
Which is I'm making up for lost time, because 2006, I want to say. And even before that, I've been on the smartphone train longer than most people can even fathom. My first smartphone was a handspring visor with the cell phone attachment. There's some esoteric for you.
I had the Trio.
Yeah,
those are cool. The Palms here, all the Palm stuff. I was a huge fan.
I was a huge Palm nut. I loved Palm.
I never liked BlackBerry, but Palm, that was my jam.
Yes, see, you and I. We understand each other. I am still faster doing graffiti than I am touch typing.
Yes.
Bring back graffiti. Yes. By the way, I do have a graffiti keyboard on my phone. You can, but the problem is I don't carry a stylus around with me anymore. And but if I had a stylus, I am so fast with graffiti. So I had the handspring visor with the cell phone attachment circa like 2004. And then in 2006, I want to say, I bought the Palm Trio 650. I rocked that phone until 2010. I rocked that phone for 4 years. And then I finally relented and went, all right, I guess the iPhone's good enough. I'll get an iPhone 3GS. And then I went like the every other year iPhone kind of thing for 5 or 6 years. And then I got burned on the iPhone 6S Plus with the whole battery fiasco. And then I went Android, and then from like 2017 forward, I was Pixel. And so I went through a number of different Pixels. First I was on the Essential phone. I had an Essential phone for a couple of years, and then I bought a Pixel 3a after that. And then from the Pixel 3a, I've had nothing but problems. Every Pixel I've ever had has just died. Flat out.
I had the even numbered ones. Every other year I get one, and it was always the even number one. Maybe you just had the odd number one.
Maybe I had the odds. Yeah. No, because I've also had a 6 die. I have had an even number one die on me too. My 3A died. Partially my fault. It went through the wash, but
that's not partial. That's straight up. That's destruction there, sir.
I've recovered so many phones for other people from the wash before. Like, I know how to do it, and I'm really good at it. And I couldn't recover my Pixel. I then had a 5A, and the 5A just spontaneously exploded on me, just like died. Had a 6A. 6A did the exact same thing. The 6A did it when I was at a press event, actively using the phone. I was up at Intel. Luckily, I was local to my house, or local enough. I was still staying at a hotel in Portland, but I was up at Intel, typing notes on my laptop, taking pictures of the screen, typing some more notes, taking pictures, like making sure I can cross-reference all the slides and everything else. And took my phone back up. Phone's a brick. Stone cold dead. Never turned on again. So from like actively just like click, 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 set it down, take some notes, click, click, click. Brought it up to click again. Nope. Dead.
Just
My
decided it was time.
my wife also had a 4A do the same thing with her. So
Weird.
yeah. So yeah, it's not just the odd numbered ones, it's the even ones too. Yeah, we've killed a 4A, a 5A, a 4A, two 5As, and a 6A. All in like a pretty condensed period. And look, it could be happenstance. I've had nothing but problems with pixels. Dying before they should.
So back to the Palm. What was your favorite games on the Palm?
Space Trader. Space Trader, 100%. I also had
100%.
Dope Wars. I like the trading simulators from back in those days.
Yeah,
But
the Dope Wars was fun.
yes, Space Trader was Dope Wars on crack. Space Trader was flying around to different planets, improving your ship, and doing the same thing as Dope Wars, where you're moving cargo from one place to another. Some of it legal, some of it illegal. But on your way to the different planets, you would encounter different ships, and you could trade with the different ships, or they were hostile, or they were police, or they were whatever else. You had different laws that you had to follow within different planets. You had different resources available. And so some planets had a lot of stuff for sale. Other planets had nothing for sale. You had to manage fuel. You had to manage everything else. When I had that, I was commuting to work on the bus about 40 minutes one way every day. And I spent 40 minutes just playing Space Trader. There is a Steam version of Space Trader. I believe it's called Merchant Marine, which added like some local planet 3D traversal kind of thing. It's all very stupid, but it makes a lot of sense as a mobile, like, spend your time wasting time doing this kind of game. It does not make sense sitting down and playing 2 hours on a PC. Like,
yeah,
no, don't get it. It's not good. But
I'm trying to remember. So I was just looking at the games, and there's one that eludes me that I used to play, but for some reason I can't remember the name of it. It was like someone's name, someone's adventure. It was like a dungeon crawler. What game? I'm trying to remember what game that was.
Oh gosh.
It was a popular series, like someone's name. That was one I used to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Labyrinth style game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the name of it because I pulled it up. I was Googling it. I'm like, what was the name of that game? I also had the emulator on there for Game Boy, which was cool.
Yeah, I did have that.
Because it was greenish screen, so it kind of made it kind of fun.
Yeah.
I see there's a lot of other Space Traders fans. I don't think I played Space Traders. I don't remember that one. Like, yeah. I think I remember seeing the game. I used to love it for the news sync tool that was on there. So I could download all the news to it and then sit and read the news each morning. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Because, they didn't have internet on them.
Right. Hold on. I'm trying to...
It's weird to think about, like, how they didn't even have Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah, they were local
you had to
devices.
You put them in the dock and you synced it with your...
Yeah.
It was fun, though. I mean, there was just an enjoyment I had with that device. As I also had the Sony Clee. I like that one a lot.
I did have a Clee, Click, whatever they ended up pronouncing.
Yeah, I've heard it called Clee and Click, and
yeah,
I don't know how it was supposed to be said.
Yeah.
I don't even know how like, I've seen it and I bought it. I don't know that anyone ever told me how to pronounce it because I don't think they had commercials for it or anything.
No,
and there wasn't YouTubers reviewing these things. You just bought the stuff back then.
Yeah. In between the handspring visor phone and trying out literally like a half dozen other smartphones, including like the Samsung Blackjack and the HTC 8150, the Windows CE phones, and all kinds of other ones. I had also bought Sony Clee, is what I called it. It was the Palm OS one that was the clamshell that flipped up and then spun around 180 and then flipped back down. And it had a full keyboard underneath and a swiveling camera on the top of it.
Yep.
That was the one that I had.
Phones are just this monolithic device now.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a camera bump. Maybe they don't have a camera bump. Maybe people will debate about the camera bump, but they're honestly not particularly different from each other.
Right.
It's like the only difference between like the last few years is how big is the camera bump on it and whether or not you have the screen going through. Like, does your screen stop, or does the hole in the middle for the selfie cam?
No, I got a hole for the selfie.
Yep. They did have commercials. I don't remember seeing commercials, but I was never a TV person. Because I cut the cable, cut the cord, however you want to call it, in 2009.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. So it's been so long since I've had like television.
Yeah. We I think 2014 is when we cut. Might have been a little later. I think satellite is when we cut, was 2014. We had a couple other services throughout the years after that. We when we bought our house, we lived in a house from 2007 to 2010. We had, I think, Dish Network at the time for satellite, because I watch a lot of sports. I know you're not a huge sports guy. I watch a lot of sports. I had to have that. And so we had that, and it was I want to say like $80 or something like that. And between 2007 2010 probably went up to like $120 of no doing of my own. The package just got more expensive.
Oh yeah.
And so when we moved in 2010, we took it as an opportunity to reach out to other services and say, hey, what's available? Because there was cable plus direct plus Dish. They were still 3 different companies back then. We ended up, I think, going direct TV at the time when we moved. And so got on with direct, and then direct did the exact same thing. It started like $100, and then it was up to $150. And then I went, all right, that's enough. And then Dish Network, I think in 2012, was advertising locked price for life. You sign up for this price, you will never pay a penny more than this price. And I went, that's all I care about. That's all I want. I don't have all the exorbitant packages. I don't have all the extras. I literally have your base 100 channels and nothing else. I don't have the movie channels. I don't have the extended sorts package. I just want that. $100. Cool. Done. Well, it was less than a year later. The bill came in at 104. And then a couple of months later at 106, and then a couple months later, and I called them about it, and they're like, "Oh, new tax service." What? I said, "No, you advertised the price is $100," and so they lowered it back down, and then like 6 months later it was like 110, and I went, "I'm done. I am so done." The reason they get away with it is because it's only $10.
Yeah,
but do you realize what percent jump I had to go through? Because in 2007 I was paying $80, and throughout the course of that it went all the way up to like 150, 170, and then back down to 100, and then $10. That's 10%, like out of the ether.
They're like the banks. They just figure out ways to tack on fees.
Yep. And then we went from the 2 Dish companies, YouTube, or no, it wasn't YouTube, it was Sony PlayStation, had a service called PlayStation View for $35, and it was a streaming service, and it had ESPN and Discovery and all your locals and everything else. And I went, $35, done. It's like 40 channels. That's all I want. $1 a channel, I'm in. I think we paid that price for about 6 months, and then it went up to $40. And I went, all right, I can still do 40. That's still a 12% increase. That's not insignificant, but I'll do 40. Okay. And then it went up to 45, and I went, I'm out. And then before they canceled PlayStation View entirely, I think the base package was up to $90. It had tripled in price.
Wow. It's just crazy.
And Sling has done the same thing. They introduced at $35, get people on board, and then they jacked it up to $100. YouTube TV has done the same thing. They introduced it at, I think, $20. And then last I checked, it's like $85 or $90 today. It's like, TV's not worth that much to me, man.
I did see someone comment, because more of the studios are buying each other again.
Yeah.
And we're one merger away from cable TV again, because they all own each other again. It just amoebas. They're all
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently, you never got into satellite hacking. No, I didn't get into satellite hacking. I try not to do. Look, I've got some gray hat in my past, so let's just leave it at that. I think anyone in this space does. They've done something.
Wasn't the part that I think of with satellite hacking? Wasn't it called Blackout Friday?
Yeah.
Where they sent that signal down that fried everybody's hack.
All the cable cards, yeah.
Yeah, all the cable cards.
Yep.
I remember that was like such an incident.
Yep. Yeah. No,
Netflix is trying to get rid of theaters. You know what though? I'll be honest, and
theaters have been doing a good job of that on their own.
Yeah, they're doing a good job on their own of that. But I'm trying to remember there was kind of a group of them, including who runs Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
He had talked about this a while back, and he's like, he goes, it would make sense if we did away with it. He says, there's the people who will go to the theater because they like that experience. There's people who will watch it at home because they like that experience. And he goes, from a cost standpoint, he goes, we have to ramp up the marketing to get people to go to the theater. And then we have to ramp up marketing a second time and have an entire second spend of marketing to let you know it's available for the people that didn't want to go to the theater now.
Yeah.
So it's like, we could just skip a step and just market both. It's in theaters and available for those of you that don't like the theater experience.
Yeah.
Like me. I don't love the theater experience. And so
a small marketing budget to these studios anymore is $35 million.
Yeah.
For one run in the theater. $35 million. Your theater revenue needs to be $400 million to justify that. We talked about like relating to like tariffs and whatnot, what output versus revenue needs to be to sustain, because as a small business, it's like, yeah, okay, there's now a 10% increase in my cost. Well, a 10% increase in my cost is not just a 10% increase in my cost, because I'm now paying 10% higher taxes. That company that I'm purchasing those goods from, they are now expending 10% more of their revenue to do that. They've got to make that up somewhere. The shipping company has to insure for that higher amount. The packaging company now has to do that. Every single step down the line from the initial cost increase of an original manufacturer or whatever else goes up exponentially because everyone has to make their margin. And a 10% increase on a component, it's not a component cost, but Dell and HP recently removed HDCP and some other encoding techs from their laptops because they didn't want to pay. They were tired of paying one of the agencies that owns one of the encoders. It's 4 cents a laptop, but 4 cents a laptop times $8 million or times 8 million units.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're drawing the line at 4 cents a laptop.
And it's so insane to me because I think it started this week. There's a Supreme Court hearing that's been going on about the ability to ban people forever for the internet because they're suspected of movie piracy. Like it is an insane and absurd. The EFF has been all over it and things like that. But I mean, it's made it all the way to the Supreme Court. I've covered Quad 9 a couple times because Sony, outside of the U.S. venue, has sued Quad 9 for resolving sites that they deemed copyright infringement. And they're like, look, we're a resolver. We don't judge who we resolve. If that site contains what you claim to be copyright infringement, shut them down. Go through the process, whatever that might be.
Right.
Yeah, it is just crazy. It's the death throes of these companies, the power they've yielded because they've always been which surprises people when they start digging into politics isn't that you can buy a senator, it's how little you can pay for one.
It's how cheap they are.
It's how cheap they are.
Right.
That's the part that'll really surprise you. I think this is funny. I see someone talked about the Tron movie. My favorite review of the Tron movie: AI cannot destroy Hollywood fast enough to stop them from producing more garbage like this.
There was one. So I'm on Reddit a lot, and I especially love our local Reddits, the Oregon, the Portland, the things like that. There was one quite a few years ago when the cable companies, the ISPs and cable companies were arguing in front of Congress for something, and apparently the dollar amounts for all the different congressman votes. Someone published the list of the donors, and it's like Comcast gave 500,000 to Ted Cruz and gave 700,000 to what's the one of the congressmen in Oregon took $12,000, and the response in Oregon was, "What a bitch!"
Yeah, it is crazy how cheap you can buy a congressperson for. It's not
like
that
I'm not offended that you took the money.
Sold out for.
Yeah, I'm not offended that you took the money because everyone's taking the money. I'm offended at how little you got. Like, really?
You're truly an embarrassment.
Yeah, that's just sad.
What a mess. But man, why can't I'm still trying to remember that name of that dungeon crawler.
So I looked it up. I was looking at Palm OS Labyrinth game.
Yeah.
Trying to find it based on like context clues, and I can't find that.
It's before AI, so we're not able to find it in search anymore. It's one of those, like, it's in my head. What was the name of that game?
Yeah, and unfortunately, modern SEO is
trash.
It's trash because there's so many SEO terms that are overriding older things that existed in that early 2000s, late 90s that is really difficult to find unless you know the exact search term that you need. So we can't look up via context anymore.
Yeah. They've SEO stuffed away all of our
yeah. Kyle's Quest.
I knew it was like, yes, found it. That's the one. It was like it was someone's name. Kyle's Quest. Now I'm gonna go that's the one I remember liking.
There we go.
Not only did out of Kyle's Quest.
Not only did I find it, I found a download. There you go.
That's awesome. I actually you can play it on the Internet Archive.
You could play it on the Internet Archive. I was looking on my phone. I know on my phone, at one point, I had downloaded a Palm OS emulator so I could play Space Trader. And I don't know if it made it over to my newer phone. I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
If anyone wants to enjoy something odd, but it is one of Tom's guilty pleasures, I like Jason Scott. He is a very interesting person who works for the Internet Archive, and you can follow his podcast. Jason Scott Talks His Way Out of It. That is the name of the podcast. But he has lots of interesting things of how things ended up on the Internet Archive, his involvement in archiving of things. But he talks a lot about how those emulators got to work on the Internet Archive and all those games and where he acquires these games. And his entire podcast centers around a lot of his adventures of acquiring things that have now been put onto the Internet Archive. Sometimes it's also just musings by him. But if you are interested in the history of a lot of things, the Jason Scott podcast is just a lot of fun to listen to. It's such a cool walk down memory lane. And if anyone hasn't spent a few minutes looking up who Jason Scott is, yes, he's that weird and eccentric. If you find a guy that looks like he could possibly be a court gesture, that is Jason Scott. You have found the right person. He did the BBS documentary, and it's great. My little story about it. I was at a hacker conference in 2002. Jason Scott was filming the BBS documentary. And he said, I started talking about BBS stuff, because I was fascinated with it. And we were talking this, that, and other. He says, "Do you want to say anything on the camera?" I said, "No, I don't want to be in front of a camera." And I regret that because I didn't think he was serious about making a documentary. I could have been, maybe I would have said something that could have made it there, and I could have been immortalized in a BBS documentary, but I'm not. By the way, watch the BBS documentary. It's great. All 6 hours of it. You have 6 hours to spare. 3 if you watch it at 2x.
Yes. I can't watch things at 2x. I just can't.
I listen to podcasts between 2 and 3x. And the reason why is it's the only way my ADD brain will listen to something and focus on it, because I have to think hard about it. So listening to them faster has been my way to not only get through more of them, but also to get me to focus on them. Except for Jason Scott's. I like his voice. He's got the best narration. I got to hang out with him at a hacker conference earlier this year. Great experience. Truly enjoyed it. And he's just got such a great speaking voice. I don't listen to him at 2x because it would ruin it.
And that's my problem is I for the most part, I enjoy podcasts and listening to people talk and whatnot. And I feel like I lose a lot in cadence and delivery and style and things like that if I listen not at the native speed. And I just... It bugs me to an end that makes me stop listening if it's not at the right speed.
It's a goal thing for me. Is my goal to put this information in my head fast?
Right.
Then I can listen to it. If it's Jason Scott, where I love, my wife thinks it's so weird that I do this. We have a little gazebo up back, and I got a fire pit in my gazebo, and I grab my whiskey. I bring my little Bluetooth speaker out there, and I put Jason Scott on, and I listen to a podcast while I poke the fire and drink my whiskey. And I am, she's like, this makes you happy. I'm like, this makes me so happy. This is my relaxing. I'm listening to Jason Scott. My phone is muted for all the notifications, so they will not disrupt me listening to this podcast. And I will listen to him wax poetically about something, like when he got in trouble with the FBI, which was hysterical. It was a great episode because Jason Scott's not a thin man, and so when you run the archive, he runs the BBS archives, which has all the text files in there, which includes what is the most famous file you can think of that would be passed along every BBS.
There might be a couple files in there.
The anarchist kickbook, perhaps.
Yeah.
And because after the BBS has died, he archived all of them. He runs textfiles.com. That's also one of his properties. The FBI just had to say, like, you host this, someone we were investigating happened to cite that they were using this. We don't think you're malicious. We think you're just an archivist type thing. But Jason Scott moves around a lot. So they went and knocked on previous addresses he had, but he knew the people were, because he moved with different people. And they're like, hey, Jason, the FBI is looking for you. He goes, well, that's interesting. Did you tell him where I live? No. Cool. Click. And months go by, and he figures the FBI found something better to do than look for him. And he goes, then there's a knock on the window. He says, it was the FBI. Apparently they'll knock on your window when you won't answer your door. And he goes, he was in his underwear. And he says, I chose to remain in my underwear. He goes, I figure this is going to be awkward for everyone. The whole story, it just gets better from there, because they're like, Mr. Scott, would you like to put some clothes on? He goes, matter of fact, I would not like to put some clothes on.
I'm comfortable. We're in my home right now.
We're in my home. We're gonna make this awkward. And his storytelling style is so fun. And you're laughing. I'm sitting out there laughing like an idiot. And my wife's like, what's so funny? Because she can hear me outside. I'm like, guys in his underwear getting interviewed by FBI. Great story.
As you do.
As one does.
As one does.
I am not putting my clothes on for you, sirs. Oh, man. Fun stuff.
All right. Couple more super chats. Creme sends over $5. Very late to the live. Hope everyone had a good day. What's the beer of the day? Actually, I did want to talk a little bit about this beer that I'm drinking right now.
Is this the colored one? The not colored properly?
The not colored one, yeah. So first beer was the Fort George Magnanimous. And the thing that I can say about this is it tastes like Christmas trees. Not in the normal IPA way, but in the way that non-IPA people claim IPAs taste. Oh, it just tastes like drinking a Douglas fir. That's magnanimous. If you like that flavor, it is full of that. And Yakto asked earlier in the show, more or less than the 01 cider. This is more. Yours at least had some spice and some cinnamon and things like that to it. This is just pure pine tree. And it's great, and I love it. The second beer is the Brewery Omgang Everything Naughty White Chocolate Imperial Blonde Stout. This is a stout. It is every bit of a stout. You drink it, you think stout. You don't think blonde ale, you don't think anything else. It tastes like a stout. It's actually really rich, really thick, which the light color is actually a little bit off-putting because of that. But it has all the same roast that a stout would, but somehow without the roasted color.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder if they have that beer by me.
Yeah.
I'm interested to try it.
It's, Brewery Omgang, Omegang. It's brewed in Kansas City, Missouri. So,
okay. Yeah,
and Cooperstown, New York. So yeah, it's probably nationally distributed. So yeah. It's chocolatey in a very creamy sense, like you would expect for a white chocolate flavored beer. It is very smooth, but a little roasty, but not like in a coffee roast, more like in like a toasted marshmallow kind of roast to it. It's all the dark flavors, but the lighter version of them.
Yeah,
it's chocolate, but white chocolate. It's roasty, but marshmallow, not coffee and whiskey. And then Terrapup sends over another $5. Thank you so much. PC World is reporting RAM is so expensive, Samsung won't sell to itself. Yeah.
Yes. I see that. That made me laugh too.
Yeah. That is a thing because I guarantee Intel's holding out some property from other branches at Intel. NVIDIA's holding out some branches of the company from other portions of NVIDIA. This is a thing that happens. You have different divisions within a company that will claim ownership of certain things and refuse to share those assets, even though you're all the same company. Like a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yeah.
You're the same company. Wouldn't that make sense? No, because one wing of this company is way more profitable than the other, and we're going to take that lion's share. Yep.
It's how their incentives are aligned. Profitability is generally overarching goal of divisions. They will compete with each other to an extent. If they can make more money selling to someone else, they will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's why Micron is killing Crucial and leaving the consumer market. It's not that they're stopping making RAM. It's just they're stopping making RAM and storage for you. Yep. They're making it for someone else who will pay 10 times the same price. Until
the AIBS bubble pops. Yeah. They're going to keep selling it to me. I mean, and don't get me wrong, and this is actually kind of funny, little YouTube insider stuff. So one of these BS companies reached out to me for wanting me to do an ad read. And I don't know, it was some AI thing that I didn't understand, but also I didn't care. All I sent back was my price. It's this much, and I'll read 30-second ad.
Yeah.
And it was back and forth. They're like, no, let's do this much. I said, no, my price is this much. And I thought I wouldn't hear from them again. Then like, oh, okay, we're going to approve it. Cool. We'll get you over the assets and blah, blah, blah. Put it in for a thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Then, okay, we got defunded. I'm like, at least I was surprised I heard back from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, our funding got pulled.
Yep.
Whoops. Because that's how these AI companies go. Like someone's giving some of these companies stupid amounts of money. I'll read an ad for it because I think people are smart enough to know if Tom reads an ad, it's because they sponsored it. And it's usually not about the content. You know, I'm doing a TrueNAS video sponsored by some other company. And it's fine.
Yeah.
You like or hate the company, it's up to you. I'm just reading the ad that was bought that brought you this content. Mm-hmm. But it's just, and someone's giving some of these AI companies ridiculous amounts of money. And can we just go back a year? Was it even a year ago when Rabbit and all those other stupid little boxes came out? I mean, someone gave some of those people like $30-40 million to make a useless AI thing that didn't work. Like, well, wasn't it called like Rabbit AI? What was the one that
January 2024? It was almost 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, almost 2 years ago. Think about the amount of funding that was given to these stupid companies to make something that was not useful in any way.
Yeah. In fact, was less useful than the tech already on the market.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just completely useless. So I'm like,
It's like Siri, but a projector that shoots onto your hand that you can't interact with, or that has like 6 points of touch.
It was literally more steps to order a pizza from it than it was in any other way I could order a
Right.
pizza. That was like their demo.
And I love that the sales pitch was like, no, it's agentic to its core, and it's hardware that's built from the ground up. Turns out it was an APK that ran on stock Android.
Yeah, APK stock Android. That's it.
that you could run it on any device.
Yeah, it was so dumb. It was just it's exhausting looking. But if someone's giving them money and they want to advertise their BS, I don't know. I'll take their money.
Yeah.
Someone's got to take it. I guess that's my burden to bear.
Yeah, I am a little bit discerning with mine. I will vet the company first, and even if it's not something that I would buy personally, I'm like, look, you seem like good guys. Like, okay, cool. If it's obviously a scam or scam adjacent,
I don't think this product was a scam. Right. I'll say that much. It was just some like AI coding helper thing. It was just okay. It wasn't necessarily like, it was not another Rabbit AI. It wasn't some product to sell you. It was like, buy our subscription for $9.99 a month and you can get better enhanced coding. It was really a basic pitch.
And yeah, I'd take that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm not using this stuff because it helped with Kubernetes or something, which I'm like, a fair Kubernetes is hard. So
sorry, we got a wild gearling in chat. And he says, make sure to hit that like button. There's currently a 152 person gap between likes and viewers. Yeah, what the hell, people? Come on.
Yeah. Aren't these people watching, liking us? I mean.
Right. And then Gearling also says, my name Jeff. My name Jeff.
And we did mention Gearling's video on the not so hidden microphone.
Yes.
To the documentation.
Yes.
We told people watch Jeff Gearling's video. He covered it. I've suggested to many people.
Yep.
The silliness that goes on.
Yep. It's all fun.
It's all fun and games.
My Discord bio now says James Miller, aka Mikey, founder of Craft Computing in 2020, because that's what AI said.
That's what AI says. Why not? Oh man. Yeah. I listened to Gamers Nexus Steve do an interview with Ed Zitron, and he was talking about how many wrong things that they were looking up with AI. He says he was trying to Google something, and he says what made it worse than being wrong about when a product was released and certain details of a product. He goes, not only was the answer wrong, it cited me as the source. And so he goes, I clicked on me as the source, and he goes, it had me completely out of context.
Yep.
He's like, it gave the wrong answer, and I'm the source for the wrong answer. He goes, this is just bad. And anyone actually clicks the link saying, oh, I didn't give the wrong answer. I had the right answer on my website. Yeah. The AI read it completely wrong and took it out of context and gave you the bad information.
Yep, I've had that happen on my own videos, like because it scrapes the transcript from YouTube videos and will use that as training fodder. We've known that for a couple of years now, and so I will get the problem with doing the type of content that I do, where I buy the weirdest shit, and then I'm trying to solve this esoteric bug, is I will search for this exact product and with like the line that I'm trying to solve, and I will get myself as a result and people misquoting me, and that is so incredibly frustrating. This has happened with vGPU stuff. This has happened with Pi-hole recursive DNS. This has happened with so many different little projects that I'm trying to dig in to learn more. And I'm looking up a specific bug that I'm encountering that has literally stopped my work. I have asked questions on Reddit only to be cited myself giving an answer that is completely not the thing that I'm looking for. oh, Jeff already fixed that. Go click on his video. It's a great video. No, he didn't fix that. I know that because he's me.
I'm feeling there are other people in the chat that are my age because I see people doing, hey man, Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man. Yeah.
Dave's not here, man. It's funny when I'm talking to people and I realize that I've lost them and I make them reference. I'm like, crap. And I actually paused and I was having a conversation with some people today and I realized they were all over 10 years younger to me. And I realized, crap, they don't know the reference. They're completely missing it.
We've gone too far back. Turn around.
Yeah. I said, none of you are over 40 is how I paused. And they're like, what? I was like, you didn't get I said something. You didn't react. Therefore, I know you didn't understand the phrase I said. And I also know all of you are under 40. So we're just going to, I'm not going to explain the phrase. I'm just going to rephrase things.
Yep.
Well, my friend who I was staying over for Thanksgiving, he's a couple years younger, but that couple years is the difference between knowing what MASH is and knowing what MASH is not. So
I know what MASH is.
Yeah. But I think you're slightly older. So older than my other friends I was hanging out with. So
this is fair.
Yeah. You're closer to me than I was to them.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just those little things. I'm shocked at how anyone under 30 has no idea who Deadmau5 is. None of my children's friends, they're completely clueless to who Deadmau5 is.
Yeah.
My son only because he likes a lot of esoteric music that he's young and knows this. But my daughter's in her 20s and her friends, they do. Deadmau5 is not someone they know.
Right.
I see people knew MASH. I mean, it's because Tony Paco's, I've been there. It's not far from here. Tony Paco's is about a 45-minute drive from here.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And if you go to Toledo, inside one of the hotels, they have one of the original Jeeps as part of the display.
Nice. What's the time there, Jeff? I live in Norway. It's 5:17 a.m. here. It is 8:17 p.m. the day before.
Oh, and it is 11:17 p.m.
Yeah.
It is late here in Detroit.
Yep. I am here in Portland. So West Coast, Best Coast. We make the most out of every day.
Well, there we go.
If you guys could let us know which days are bad earlier, that would be great for us to let us know just to skip this one. That's the one thing I ask.
Yeah, Deadmau5 has played a few times at the Electronic Music Festival in Detroit because not everyone knows Detroit is the birthplace of techno.
Yes,
the little bragging rights we got. We're not just known for crime,
but also crime.
There's more to this than crime here in Detroit. We have a little bit of culture, not just crime culture. Sometimes the Lions win, not often.
Yeah.
Never a Super Bowl, but I mean, like they don't lose all the time.
Right. Last couple years have been pretty great. This year, we're regressing back to the mean, but it's okay, you know. This year's a weird year for the NFL in general because the difference between number 1 and number 8 is a win and a half right now. And so it's like, everyone's like, oh, you're out of the playoffs if it ended today. It's like, yeah, but if I win tomorrow, I'm back in the playoffs. Like, that's how close it is. And in fact, not only am I back in the playoffs, I'm the 2 seed. It's that close. So, yeah, it's a weird year.
Oh, well, we did get RoboCop. Yes, I got to go down and take a picture of it Saturday. That is on my to-do list because I didn't want to go on the day one revealing. Everyone's been taking selfies with RoboCop. I don't want to feel left out on this. So now I got to go take a selfie with RoboCop Saturday.
Yeah,
because I will.
Is it going to be there for a while? Like,
I think it's a permanent structure.
Permanent. Okay.
It's permanent.
Then, like a Thursday morning would be the best time to go. Like, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna. It's in Eastern Market, and if you come to Detroit, you can experience Eastern Market, the United States' oldest outdoor market, continuously running, as they like to brag about. It's an interesting place. So I'll go there on Saturday because I'll go visit Eastern Market every Saturday. It's like a big farmer's market, but it's huge and it's very Detroit, and it's just kind of part of the experience when you come to Detroit. I think when Dakota came, we took him to Eastern Market. I think that was one of the experiences we took. It happens every Saturday.
Yeah.
So, but they put RoboCop at Eastern Market, which is the perfect place for it because it's full of weird art. So
Yes.
it fits right in. So I'm like, when I seen their announcing, I'm like, oh, I bet it's going to be an Eastern Market.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Portland to put in a frog statue. That'll be the greatest chef's kiss of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. The Portland Frog, yes.
Yep. All right. A couple more super chats to get to. Zeus sends over $5. Thank you so much, Zeus. Talking Heads is an excellent test when troubleshooting a faulty single mode fiber for my Wi-Fi PoE switch. Wait, Jeff went quiet. I guess the WAN is down. Another $5 also from Zeus. I only know MASH because my ex's dad owned the MASH Jeep. There you go.
Ooh.
And then you get an extra $2 because text speech is awful.
Yes. Text speech is awful.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, it is 20 minutes past the hour. I think that's good as place as any to call it a night. On it. That and I'm out of beer, so
yeah, I'm not out of Angel's Envy. I didn't drink it all.
Yeah.
I would not be here. I'd be on the floor somewhere.
Tom would not be upright.
I would not be upright. I'd be quite disheveled.
That is a bad hourglass you have there, my friend.
Yes.
That is a.
But it's a very tasty hourglass, so definitely go with that. So.
Yes. A friend of mine for a thank you bought me a bottle of Angel's Envy, the bourbon, about a month ago. So I've had that upstairs. I've been slowly. Mine's about at the same level yours is, about a third of the way down.
It's just good. It's just good.
Yep.
Highly recommended if you're a whiskey fan. Angel's Envy, the rye is particularly good. So.
I do like the rye just a little bit better, although the bourbon is still.
Bourbon's not bad.
Yeah,
can't go wrong either one. So
little candy apple in there in the bourbon. It's really
the
good.
nicest, just the nicest, smoothest. That aftertaste is just.
I think that's what I'm going to finish my night with. I think in the after party, if you join the Patreon, link is down in the description. I think I might have a little dram of whiskey in the after party.
Yeah, I always finish on whiskey because I like beer, but I don't want to finish on it because I don't like falling asleep with the beer taste in my mouth. The whiskey taste in my mouth. That's
crisp.
The finisher. It's good night. It's time to crash.
Well, all right. Tom, anything good of the order before we close? Any fun projects you're working on? Fun things coming up?
Fun projects. N8N, I got some videos upcoming on that. Just trying to automate a few things in my Homelab. And I'm working on integrating it with TrueNAS because I like the people at TrueNAS, but they've not actually done a great job of letting me know when all my data is where I want it to be with replication tasks and that. So building out some automation with TrueNAS, no AI necessary, and being able to say, hey, here's a dashboard. Here's all the status of all your data and whether or not it's gone where you think it has gone. Because if you've ever tried to troubleshoot, I just did a video on this, troubleshooting errors in TrueNAS for replication. Yeah, it's dumb. So it gives you an error that says e-fault, and then you have to go chase down what that means. And it means nothing. So I'm going to pull all the logs together, give you the script, and give it all away in GitHub. That's my next project.
I've got one to pimp here. Hold on, where is that at?
Ooh, Pappy Van Winkle. I have some of that too. That is not. I am not making that kind of YouTube dollars that I can have Pappy Van Winkle every night. I'm
just all the time, right? Yeah.
I have a little left, and I'm saving it for things like if Jeff wanders here to Michigan. He can have some.
Oh, where did Tom go? Hold on. My Zoom minimized.
Oh.
There he is. Okay, cool.
I was like, I went away. I was offering you Pappy Van Winkle. You took me off the screen.
I did. Yeah. My bad. My bad. I apologize. I do have one thing to pimp out. This is the current state of my Homelab. I don't know if I can zoom out. Dang it. Hold on. Let me pull this down a little. There we go. That's the full image. There are 23 servers in this image. Can you find them all? The
I
very
like
top
that cloud.
Yeah. The very top stack is my new NAS server. That was the video that dropped today. Right underneath that is the 45 Craftinator, the 45 AV15. Under that is my 8-node X79 microcloud with the 16 drive trays on front with 2 drives per node, and so there's 8 nodes in that server. The strange silver box with the 5 fangirls on front, that is the 12-node ASRock BC250. It is back in my rack because it is up and running and it's doing some really fun gaming things. As I alluded to at, did I show that at the beginning of the video? I think I did.
I think you showed at the beginning. We talked about it.
Yeah. Here's what this is doing. Oh, dang it. Password's on. This is, my Ein Odin Android handheld that's connecting to the BC250 running Bazite with hardware encoding and full rasterization and everything else. It's working and it's great. And there's 12 nodes down there. Do you know what's in the Steam machine? The all-new Steam machine? It's a 6-core Ryzen processor with 28 compute units of RDNA 3. Well, this is 6-core Ryzen processor with 24 compute units of RDNA 2. With the same TDP. I have 12 Steam machines in my rack right now.
Nice.
Video coming Saturday-ish, maybe Sunday. Yeah.
Bazite's pretty cool. I need to find some new games to play with people, so I'm open to suggestions for that. If you Jeff have suggestions, or if the audience has suggestions, if you go to launchsystems.com, you can friend me on Steam. And feel free to suggest games or interact with me there. I've been trying to find, like, not just playing solo games, but occasional some co-opt games.
My community has been jamming on Crab Champions as of late.
Okay.
Chaotic shooter. Yeah, crab. There's the
I see the
chat.
crabs. Now I understand the reference.
Yeah, Crab Champions. Go look it up on Steam.
I will look that up.
It's crazy. It's a little bit nuts.
That sounds fun, though.
Yeah.
Everybody gets crabs. We'll go with
everyone,
that.
yeah. Vince gave us all crabs. Circuit Rewind gave us all crabs. And I've given everyone else crabs. We all have crabs now.
Shout out to Whiskey Linux. That is the game I've been playing as Insurgency Sandstorm. I really like that game.
That one's been on my list. I haven't played it yet, though.
Highly recommend it. That game, I've got probably more hours recently in that game than any other. I keep just coming back to it because I really enjoy it. So hit me up if you want to play that game some night. Nice. Yeah.
But great. About 3 nights a week, we've been jamming on crabs in my Discord server. Okay. So
I will wander over there. If no one summons me, I'll still find my way over there. And
I'll ping you next time we get a group together.
All right.
So it's a roguelike game, so it's semi-permanent progression. You unlock weapons and perks, and then but you start from 0 basically every game, and then you go as far as you can until the levels get too hard and you die, and then you start over again. It's great.
As long as it's fun.
Yeah.
And I like games playing with some people. Insurgency Sandstorm is those games like when you find a good group of people, I will play for hours with that group because they're tight, they know what they're doing, and you communicate. The game is played the best when people communicate.
Yes.
And it's just one of those, because you're all working, you 6 or 7 people versus the AI, and when everyone's coordinating, like who's going to watch which door, who's going to do this, and who's going to defend which position, the game just goes so well, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes. No, I love co-op games. I'm not a PvP person. I'm a PvE. Or co-op versus everyone else.
And because it's a very tactical game, that's what it makes it fun, because then you can work together for people, and it's like you're working together in a very collaborative way, and that's the type of game I really like.
Yeah. So you'll like crabs. You like chaos. And
I sometimes create it, so yes.
Crabs is chaos. And like the first 5 levels, you go, oh, this is kind of fun. It's kind of wide, little out there. It's crabs with guns shooting other crabs and floating skulls and honeybees and things like that.
It's called Crabs Champion, you said?
Crab Champions, yeah. But then you get past it's 4 islands with 7 levels each, and when you get past the 4 islands, it loops back to the first island, and then you go again. And you get upgrades for your weapons along the way. And so you're constantly trying to find the abilities that'll make your build out work.
Okay.
And when you do that, let's just say I had like a saw blade launcher that launched about 70 saw blades at a time and bounced around the map and also boomeranged back to their origin and kept sweeping back and forth. And when you start out, you start with like 150 damage per second DPS. By the time I was done building, I was at 3 billion DPS in the same game.
Nice.
And then you start back from 0, and then you go again, and it's great.
That sounds fun. Join the crab community.
Yeah, and as Jay says, crab, and I cannot stress this enough, crab.
Fun times.
Yep.
All right, we'll wind it down here. I see people send links to it, so.
Thank you all so much for watching episode 412. Again, this episode was sponsored by Meter. Check out them in the video description to book a demo with them today if you need help managing your IT infrastructure. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. Next week we'll be on with Rhett, and then I think Tom and I, because the next week would actually be Christmas Eve, we're going to do a special Monday show on the 29th, I think is the current plan. So we'll kind of hit Christmas and New Year's right in the middle. Maybe a nice eggnog whiskey stout kind of night. Could be fun. Yeah.
Could be fun.
We'll
go
fun.
That.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Cheers, everyone.